Now we're live. Tanya, could you please stop sharing?
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you all for coming to this morning on Wednesday's resume review. Tatyana and we decided to do this. Tatyana, she is a director of quality and tremendous experience in well-known companies previously. You can check Tatyana at her LinkedIn page. I'm Evgeniy Kim as well. I'm in tech recruiting by trade. I'm a software test engineer. So today we're gonna do the resume review from two perspectives. Tatyana she is a hiring manager. Tatyana's will give feedback based on her hiring decisions, and I'm the first in the line, like who is getting the resumes to send over to Tatyana before. Well, sent over to hiring managers before actually going there. Um, so you will have two different perspectives, which is very important. And Tatiana, thank you for coming. I'll give you, handing over to you the mic. And I know that there is upcoming event will coming. Excited to hear about that as well.
Yes. Thank you, Evgeny, first of all, for partnering with me on this session. I'm really looking forward to help you guys update your resume and be more successful in your job hunt. So we are collaborating in a couple different communities today. We have an Innovate QA community, and we have Evgeny Agile community from Meetup Together Gathering. So I want to tell you guys a little bit about the Innovate QA. This is a community of quality enthusiasts and professionals that we get together a couple of times a month and talk about quality and all of the interesting new topics. We also have a conference in Seattle coming up on June 5. So please check it out. I'll send you a link to the conference page so you can look at it and hopefully join us for the future meetups and the conference. Let's see. I think that's kind of like my intro, Evgeny. Should we jump into the presentation?
Yeah, absolutely. Tatiana prepared for you guys a great presentation about the resume, right? And then we will actually you will have a brief understanding like what we Tatiana is looking or hiring manager is actually looking and recruiters. I will comment along the way, but yeah, and we'll jump on the actual resumes. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. I'll post a link to the Innovate Create page and let me share my screen. All right, so show. So I get to review a lot of resumes on a daily basis. So you guys might know that we have a very competitive job market. So any position that we open right now, it gets more than 500, sometimes even 1,000 applicants. So you can imagine as the hiring managers and the recruiters are reading through all of these resumes, some of them stand out and some of them are just kind of like skip going to the next one. So I want to make you successful with your resume. I want to help you um, write the resume that is impactful and that stands out and that gets attention of the hiring managers and the recruiters. So why are the resumes important in the competitive job market? The companies are more selective. They are not just going to take any qualified candidate. You might be qualified for the position, but there's so many candidates that there's always ones that stand out more than others. So you have to be in the top 10% to get called as far as your resume goes. Describing your value on paper is very challenging. Think about all of the experience that you have and all of the skills and qualities, putting it on paper and then having someone read it and understand who you are. It's not an easy thing to do. So there are a lot of biases which goes into writing the resume and reading your resume. So making your resume reflect who you are is not is quite a challenging task, especially for some of us. So if you don't have the resume that stands out, you have very small chances of competing with people who do have the resume that are well written. So I'm going to jump in right into how do we want to structure the our resumes. So first of all, it should be 1.5 to 2 pages long. If you have no experience, it could also be 1 page long. If you're like 1, 2 years experience in the industry, please don't feel obligated to make it into a page and a half. But please don't make it more than 2 pages. No one's going to read more than 2 pages, no matter how awesome you are. Usually I would read maximum a page and a half, and then I just, skip the rest. So the structure, we want to have the heading, we want to have the summary. Next goes the skills. This is the order that is helpful to me as a hiring manager to understand who you are. After skills go accomplishments and education, award, certification. Please put that at the bottom. Education is not the most important thing usually. And if someone cares about your education, they'll scroll down, they know it's there, and they'll look it up. So what's important is the ratio of all of these parts. So summary is 10%, heading is 10%. So heading is 10%, summary is 10%. Skills could go up to 20%. The rest should be accomplishments. So this is, I would encourage you guys to open your resume right now and analyze it from the information that I'm giving you. So you can kind of see right away, hey, here's what I need to fix. All right. And so this might seem obvious to you, and you would say, well, Tatyana, this is so obvious. Why are you telling us this? And I'll give you guys, I'm going to giving you a lot of resume examples today. So you can see what we have to deal with when we're reading the resumes. So let's look at this one first. Right? You see, there is a summary that takes 40% of the first page. There is education in the middle here, which I might not care about right away. The tools are taking 25%ish, and then I see that there is experience that is going at the bottom here. So this summary to me is completely unreadable, and we'll talk more about the summaries. The tools can be shortened. Education needs to get out of the way. I want to get to the experience as fast as I can. So to me, looking through the top of the screen until I get to the experience at the bottom, that is wasting my precious time, right? So let's look at this one next. So this one has a good summary. So it has a heading that I told you guys 10%. It has a good summary that is around 10%, which I like. It's very concise. And then it jumps into the professional experience. So the only thing, oops, sorry. So the only thing that I see kind of like out of place here is the skills. I would like to see your skills before I get into the experience, because if I want someone with a playwright, I want to see if they have that in their skills first before I get into their impact and accomplishments. So this is more or less a good structure of the resume. So let's look at this one. So I get very few resumes where there is a column on the left or on the right, which also has the information. I personally like this format because it gives me everything at a glance. I can look at the skills on the left. I can look at the experience right away. There is a short summary at the top that gives me the good idea. And then it all fits in one page. So the font gets a little bit small, which is the downside of putting everything on one page. But at a glance, I get a very quick idea who this candidate is and if they fit my role or not. Evgeny, should we take questions as we go, or should we leave them for the end? What do you think?
Yeah, we can take questions as we go. And I also can add a couple of things here.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally agree with Tatyana with everything that you just mentioned. About the last resume, actually, this is, I would say, not really conventional resume, and I see them a lot. I would even appearance looks nice, but I wouldn't really recommend using the column structured resume. I would prefer using the resume that you showed the previous one.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, there's two reasons for that. Well, the first resume using the space much more efficient than the second one, and the second one is actually for. It, I mean, it's harder to read because of the font, right?
Yeah, yeah. The
So
font is a
the
little small.
efficiency of the space definitely like
Hmm.
100%. And skills, totally agree with you about that. Skills, especially recruiters, they're looking into the skill section first before going to the experience.
Yep.
That would be number one thing. And however, education, if you are the very new person in the beginning, actually, that may be going up above the skills,
Mm,
obviously,
mm, mm,
because usually newbies, they don't have experience, right?
mm, mm.
But other
Yeah.
than that, yeah, totally agree.
Yeah, but what do you think? Like, if you have like 7 to 10 years experience or above five, like then the education should go at
Oh
the
yeah,
bottom.
definitely. Education uh, depends. You know what? Like some hiring managers, they emphasize, well, I wanna only with a, computer science degree. And but anyway, I think if you have more than 3 years of experience, experience can go to the bottom. And unless if it's like Harvard, Stanford, like top 10 tech schools, unless if it is like, but if it's more than 5, 10 years, that is less relevant, and I wouldn't go there.
Right, hold on. Can you still see my screen?
Yeah, I still see your screen. I
Good.
still I see the resume. Yep.
Hold on. Sorry. Got 1 second. I'm having some. Hold on. I'll have. Oh, there you go. Oh, hold on. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Hey, okay. Let's take the. If there are any questions, I'm trying to fix my screen.
yeah.
Hold on. Do we
Uh,
have any questions?
there is some comments about the ATS, problem with ATS, totally. And I see that a lot, like when some companies they ask me like, oh, can you send me actual not in the two-column resume?
So
What?
ATS, guys, I know everyone is talking about ATS. We're gonna get filtered by the ATS. But you know, the reality is they're not everyone is using ATS and no one is filtering your resumes by ATS. I know many companies who don't filter your resumes by ATS and they just search, within their tools by your skills or whatnot. So I would say kind of don't get so much concerned about ATS that you want to put like so many keywords or whatnot. I would say like 80% of the companies probably don't use it.
Right.
So,
There's a good question actually. Should we mention about the progression in the company? Yes, if you joined as a junior and then you uh, was promoted, it's that you definitely want to emphasize on that too. As a like, it depends. Like if you got promotions every 6 months and you have them 10 of them, probably you can skip a couple of them and but emphasize the very recent one. But yeah, that definitely like put your progression in the company for sure.
I'm trying to stop the screen sharing and share
Yeah.
this again,
Hmm.
but it's not letting me to stop it.
You mentioned the promotion basically the same, like your as you experience. So from that time to that time, you was working as a junior, for example, and since that time to that time period of time, you was working as a senior or mid-level or lead, whatever. People will understand that it was a promotion at the same company.
Okay.
What if
Sorry.
fresh out of the coding bootcamp? I think we're gonna cover that, Robert.
Stop sharing this screen.
Star format is actually a thing at this moment.
Yes,
So
we'll get to the star format for
totally.
the accomplishments at the end. If only I could find my presentation on my screen.
It says you start sharing your screen, but we see the blank, the black screen.
Okay, can you see it now?
No, not really.
No,
No.
it doesn't let me stop it. It
Let me
doesn't
let,
let me
let, let
stop
me
sharing.
let me try let me try my thing. Let me
I'm sorry, guys, for the technical difficulties here.
try again. So I just okay. Hold on.
Okay, stop share. Okay, let me start this again. Gonna let me share this again. Just one second, guys. Okay, there we go. One moment.
There were a couple more questions. Well,
Yeah, why don't you take the questions? Give me just one more minute
yeah.
here.
The key thing is the hard to get the hiring team to open the resume with 1,000 applicants. Yeah, that's definitely true. And I'll tell you one thing, for example, like right now I have an opening, and just in one day I got like 300 resumes in a day, right? But yeah, so recruiters they really do have like 3 to 6 seconds to decide if they gonna open the resume or if they're gonna look at it.
Yep.
And if you're, for example, if you're applying for as that role and your title is QA or your title is software engineer, most likely it will be pass. Most
Yeah.
likely.
Yeah. So that's what kind of want to talk about next, right? The heading. Um,
For sure.
so remember, so you need your full name, that's normal. So title you're applying for. So some people skip the title that their title or what they're applying for. And I would recommend do not skip that. Remember to put this. Sometimes you're going to be applying for the title that is different from your last title, or it's different from kind of like your experience. And this is where it's important. I'll give you one example. Sometimes we're applying for more senior roles. Like, let's say you're not a senior engineer and you're applying for a senior role. Please put that senior role title in the title, because when the recruiter looks at your resume, they're going to see the first thing they're going to see is like, oh, he's not a senior engineer in the experience, and they're going to skip it. But if there is a title that says, hey, senior engineer, then they would be thinking harder to like, okay, he's applying for senior role, but maybe he didn't have a senior title before, and so on. So please don't skip the title. So remember the LinkedIn URL. You would be surprised how many people do not put their LinkedIn URL. And then I go on LinkedIn and try to find them, and then I don't find them right away. And I'm like, okay. So LinkedIn is very important in the current world. We all sometimes like to see a more concise version or whatnot, or who you're connected. Maybe I have connections with you that I can ask for references or whatnot. So please do not skip the LinkedIn URL. So email and phone, that's kind of normal. So now let's talk about summary. Summary is very, very important. I would say it's 50% of your resume. Don't ignore the summary just because it's a, one paragraph, and people think that accomplishments is more important than summary. Summary is very important because that gives you a chance to share your brand, who you are, what makes you stand out. It should be 3-5 sentences max. Please, no bullet points. I'll show you some of the examples. Show and don't just tell. So use the numbers or results to highlight your achievements. Don't use the phrases like team player, hardworking, without showing like, hey, what you've actually accomplished and some measurable result. You could tailor these for each role if you are, putting that much effort. You could use the keywords from the role to put into your summary. That would definitely get attention of the recruiter and the hiring manager. And so, and here's some basic formula for the summary. It could be like a software engineer with this many years of experience in this field, skilled in blah, 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 passionate about blah, blah. But this is your sales pitch. This is your sales pitch to the hiring manager for why they should hire you. So if your sales pitch is going to be, I have 7 years of experience and, I like doing math, that's probably not a good sales pitch. So make it a good sales pitch. So again, you would think that this is a basic advice, but look at this resume, and you would be surprised how many resumes I get that
Every
look like
other
this,
resume, Tatyana, every other
right?
resume, I see that like 10
So,
pages resume with a 1 page of professional summary.
right? So,
That's
like
ridiculous.
when I see this, I'm just gonna skip to the next resume because I'm not gonna read this 1 page summary. A lot of what summary says here is skills really, and some of it is so basic that I would be like, why this person is telling me that they have experience in SDLC. Everyone should have that experience. If you don't have it, then you should not be applying for this role. So please don't do this. Please keep it to 10% of your first page, and please make it a sales speech. Even if this was the best sales speech, there's no way I'm going to read this. I'm spending 2 to 3 seconds on the summary, reading the summary. So now let's look at these summaries. At the bottom here, you see the bullet points. Again, when you do the bullet points, I see a lot of skills in here. This is not really the kind of brand. This does not tell me who this person is. It tells me that they know the keywords such as SDLC and API testing, but I don't know how good they are at their job. It doesn't tell me what their passions are, what their motivations are. Why are they different from the other people? Do you want to add something, Evgeny?
Yeah, I want to add that, and usually it looks like it's a duplication of your skills.
Yeah.
Most likely it will be duplicated in your skills. And again, like this isn't a good summary. I totally agree with you, Tatyana.
So now let's look at these top two. So the second one, I like that it kind of mentions years of experience. It mentions that this person's strong collaborative team leader, which means that they care about leadership and they consider themselves a strong leader at least. And it tells me what they have experience developing. So this is good. I would say a little too short, and I would like to see more kind of who they are in this. So this is a good summary. It's talking about proven ability to reduce defects, increase test coverage. It would be good to have some measurable results in here. But I like the size and I like that it's focused on like who this person is. So none of this is perfect. So I'm not going to give you a perfect answer, but please focus on your brand, your sales speech of who you are and why you should be hired, and make it concise. All right, so let's talk about the skills section. So let's look at these resumes. So this is technical skills, right? Fairly concise. I would say the first one here is a little too long, and it's not really utilizing the space here on the right? So it's always important to utilize all of the space on the page because you don't have that much space on one page, and you don't want to waste it. So make it more concise. So this second resume here at the bottom, the person decided to divide hard skills and the soft skills, which is not a bad idea. I like that they value soft skills and they understand what the soft skills are. This is taking a little bit too much space for me on the first page. So if these were a bit more concise, taking less space, then I would appreciate the kind of someone mentioning their soft skills as well. Now let's look at this right one. So this person did a good job summarizing their skills in this table. Love that. But then after that, this person decided that they're going to write a bullet point of their kind of methodology skills. and talking about analyzing test requirements, doing test design. So to me, all of these should go into accomplishments. You should show me in accomplishments how you did the test planning and how that helped you achieve certain things. So this is to me complete waste of this page, and no one's going to read this. I'm not going to read this. I'm going to scroll to the next page, and that's going to take me longer to kind of understand who this person is. Do you have any comments on the skills, Evgeny?
No, totally agree. About soft skills, though, it's like, it's more sounds like a filler because most of them they are kind of prerequisites, right? Like you need to be a problem
Yeah,
solver.
yeah, yeah.
You need to be a good plan in planning, time management.
Yeah, I'm totally okay not having the soft skills because
Yeah,
that should show up in your accomplishments as well. So
perfect.
if you're finding yourself short of space, you don't have to include this.
Yeah.
And don't make a filler sections because one page is not that much to start with. So don't waste it on the things that don't matter.
Yeah. Tatiana, you know what? If you guys feel that this is a filler, please delete it
Yeah,
because the reader will see it and they will have the same feeling, and it's usually goes in negative impact. So
yeah,
it makes, oh, you don't really want to put it there.
yeah. All right. Let's move on. So experience. So this is the other very important section, right? Why does this do this? Okay. So I'm going to give you, there's a lot of things that we can say about how to write a good experience section. But I'm going to give you two, hopefully, very practical advices here that would push your resume to a better quality. So, first advice is verbs are important, and verbs give away your level. You would be surprised how important they are, and I'll tell you about that in the next page. The second advice is measurable stories that start with a hook. I want to see the accomplishments that are explained in a kind of high level, more of a story, like why did you do this? Not just what you did, but why did you do this and what impact did it make? So it's not as like what you were doing, right? It's very different. So we'll talk about it a little bit next. So let me show you, yeah, so this resume. So, and talk about a little bit of the structure of the accomplishment section. So this person decided to put tools in their accomplishment section, and then they also put responsibilities, and then they had the achievement sections, right? So tools definitely should not be per job or per position. Please move it out. It's going to waste your space in the resume. Responsibilities. I do like to see responsibilities in each position. I don't want it to take so much space that now I have to kind of scroll to see your actual accomplishments. So you can put the responsibilities, but please keep it like 2, 3 sentences max for each position and no bullet points. Responsibilities should be, here's what I owned, here's what I was responsible for. So this is way too kind of spread out as far as the each position and experience goes. So now let's look at let's pay attention to the verbs for a second. As you see on the left side here, there is verbs like experienced with, or executed comprehensive testing, or work closely with, monitored, or analyzed, right? So all of these words to me are very, how we say it, weak words. They're passive verbs. Uh, Passive meaning that I have experience with, but I don't really know what I've done with that experience. So having experience is not enough, right? I want to see how you used your experience to make the impact and make the accomplishments. So now let's look at this right resume. It's talking about conducted interviews. So I see that the person did an active action. They conducted the interviews and they accomplished something. Then I see here they directed the 3-person team. So that's also an active, something that they've used to accomplish, right? Or increased automation. So this is the impact and accomplishment. So I call that strong verbs or active verbs or something that has an impact. Okay. And so I'm going to give you this a list of verbs that I kind of appreciate and don't appreciate in the resumes. So when I see, let's take a look at the weak verbs. Participated, hands-on experience. That tells me that the person has no accomplishments or no impact because they have the experience, but they're not telling me how they used it. Or utilized. Okay, you've utilized this tool or whatnot, but what impact did you make with this tool? I have no idea, right? So if you look at the left side, there are the strong verbs. Someone who I implemented this, I built this, I enabled someone to do something, I implemented something, I mentored. So please look at your resume and see how many of the strong and weak verbs that you're using, active versus passive verbs. I'll pause here. Do we have questions, or Evgeny, you want to add anything?
No, totally agree, Tatiana. And to be honest, like I'm guilty. I had these weak verbs as well, so that's very eye-opening.
Thanks. All right, so let's move on. So let's talk about the measurable stories that start with a hook. So why do we need the accomplishments to be measurable? It shows a hiring manager your impact. So we could see how you can bring the benefit to our organization because what impact are you going to make? So that translates exactly and tells me like, oh, okay, this is what this person can actually change. Effectiveness. It tells me that like, hey, you're result oriented and you're not just doing the work for the sake of the work, and you care about the results and accomplishments. And it also lets me compare you to other people, right? So if I see the measurable results of one person in the resume, then I can compare to the measurable results of the other person in the resume. If one person is telling me I have experience with these 10 tools, and then I worked on these 10 websites, that's one thing. But the other person can tell me like, hey, I worked on the 10 websites and I don't know, increased the code coverage by 50% or whatnot, right? So then it tells me not just what they worked on, but it tells me what impact that they made. And this is how I can compare one resume to the other. So let's look at the examples here. Do we have a way to raise hands? I actually want to do a little bit of a test for you guys. So I have 3 resumes in here, 3 examples in here. So we talked about kind of measurable results, stories. So please choose the resume that you think has the most, is the most kind of catching for the hiring manager. So hold on, how do we do this? So can you just put in chat which resume you think is the best from the hiring manager perspective? All right. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. All right. So we're seeing 2, 3, 3. So we're getting a lot of 2s and some 3s, right? Okay. The Batman says 3. Hold on. Oh, Srini says 1. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. I'm seeing some 1s, some more 1s. Okay. So let's talk through this. So let's look at the resume number 1, right? So you see how they did use some of the strong verbs. So they coached, they delivered, they incorporated. So maybe you guys are catching on that. So they designed and developed. So I definitely like the strong verbs in the first resume. However, I don't see kind of like tangible results with any kind of measures, right? So I see here delivered significant results. But what does that mean? Significant result to one person is different from significant result of the another person, right? So again, I have no idea what impact this person did. So let's look at the second one here. Why is this keep switching? So I see that the person made an effort to actually put some numbers in here. because they said that they added 200 automated tests. I like that. They also said that I identified more than 1,500 bugs. This is also great. And they led manual testing efforts for over 50 releases. So that gives me an idea of the level of experience of that person. Because the same two people who worked for 2 years in one company might have very different experience. One released 50 releases and another one would release 3 releases. And that makes a difference to me as a hiring manager, right? So I like the numbers in the second resume. But let's look at the third resume. So they developed an extended API regression testing, and they, what is it, improved by 50%, by more than 50%. So there's also a number, but the impact of this person was definitely bigger than the impact of the person in the resume number 2, right? Because number 2 just tells me the facts, like I filed this many bugs, I created this many test cases. But when you increase the coverage by 50%, that is a more bigger tangible impact than just the number of the test cases that you created, right? So what I like about the number 3 is that they are talking in kind of like what they improved and impacted in percentages, rather than just give me the numbers of like what they've done. So 2 and 3 are good for me, but think about like more tangible impact that you can add, similar to kind of number 3 compared to number 2. All right, I think we have some questions. How can the number of found bugs tell about experience? I mean, you're right. Those bugs could be like, duplicate bugs. Like someone can just sit down and duplicate someone else's bugs. So like, of course, number of bugs doesn't tell me, like it doesn't give me 100% guarantee of how good you are at finding bugs. But it gives me an idea of the scale and the effort you go to, and that you care about the results and not just kind of like doing the job. 2 has the best writing, but 3 has the best use of metrics. Okay, thank you, Kraus. Okay, all right, should we move on? How are we doing on time? Okay, okay. Let's finish this up so we can actually review some resumes. Yeah, so to summarize, kind of like we talked about, important part of the heading, make sure that you include LinkedIn and the title you're applying for. Keep your summary concise, make it a sales speech of your brand. Keep skills section to 20% of the first page. Please don't overdo it. And then make accomplishments measurable, tell a story, use power verbs. This is my summary for you. And I think that would, this way you will avoid the common mistakes people do, and this will elevate your resume. So Evgeny, do we want to take questions, or do we want to go into the resume reviews? We only have 20 minutes left.
Let's do resume reviews really quick. There's actually 2 really good. I think we need to either do another session, or we can, I don't know. We had like really good questions. I like what Kraus mentioned about the metrics. For many engineers, it's very hard to keep the metrics, and it sounds like some more self-promotion. And I feel that I felt that
Resume
way
is a
too.
self-promotion. This is your only chance to self-promote yourself, is in your resume. If you're gonna, do that, self-promote yourself in the workplace, sometimes it might backfire. But resume is your only chance at self-promotion.
Right. Yeah, actually, let's go with you know what, Tatyana, there's another good question from LinkedIn about
Yes.
the ageism, like someone on
Yes.
the, yeah, how to deal with the ageism, and it's a real thing, I know for sure.
So, you know what? The advice that I've heard from the people who write resumes professionally and charge money for it is that, yes, ageism is the actual thing. And so they actually recommend removing the years of your education from your education session. Just don't put the years, put that you have these degrees. And I know that it's kind of like deceivement, and so to some people it might seem not authentic. But you know, apparently this is what it takes to
Yeah,
get ahead and get a job and you know,
right.
get a chat with the recruiter nowadays. So it's up to you. You can use this device or not, depending on how, you know, self-conscious you are. But I've seen a lot of people doing it these days,
It's
even if
totally
they're not.
it's totally fine. It's totally fine to remove graduation dates. And again, like a resume is not a confession, right? Like you're not obligated to put everything, your history, your dates. It is emphasizing that why you are good for this job, and that's it. And if the dates are uh, not really helping, I would remove it. Why not?
Yep.
Okay, let's go with the first resume in a row, guys.
Okay.
Uh,
While you are sharing, I'm gonna address another question from Kraus. I don't know what's your
yep,
first name.
yep.
How big of a problem is a gap on the resume? Um, Sometimes it can be, you know, a red flag for some hiring managers and recruiters. So I would say definitely try to cover it with you know what? I'll tell you this advice that I've heard recently. They said you can create an LLC and you can give yourself whatever title you want, and you can say, I've been working for myself doing all of this stuff. I know, again, this could be considered as deceivement or whatnot, but if you decide you're going to have a gap, you could do that. You could say, like, hey, here's the nonprofit projects I worked on, or here's what I did, right? But definitely don't try to make it look like, okay, I've done nothing for the last 4 years and now I'm coming back to the market. Make sure you make an effort to explain that gap somewhere, in some way. You could say, like, hey, I took time to take care of blah, blah, blah. And that's okay. But don't just ignore it and just completely skip that gap, right? Like, fill it in and put something in there.
Well, there's a there's a thing for those who got laid off recently. I honestly I wouldn't put these dates that you were laid off recently. For many hiring managers and for many companies, unfortunately, it's that's what it is. People with who are working right now, they are more appealing and they were preferably rather than if you stop working and you are unemployed. Uh, that's unfair for sure, but that's the reality. If you like were laid off a couple months ago, within a year, I would say, I will keep it as you're still working there. You can always explain during the call, or that's not a problem. Your job resume basically the job of the resume is getting your foot in the door, right? And that may prevent to do this. And unfortunately, like if you won't fit, whether you're working or not, it will not help. But if you're fit, but you have gap right now, it's fine. It
All
should be
right,
fine.
let's go into the resumes.
Yep, yep. Okay. That is, we are taking the resumes from the Slack channel that we posted in our meetup groups. Uh, the first was from this person,
You're gonna
automation
share
QA
your
engineer.
screen?
Do you see? I do share my screen. Hold on, let me try again.
Oh, hold on. Mm.
Uh,
Can people see Evgeny's screen? Oh, there you go. Okay, I can see it now.
yeah.
All right, should we jump in?
Yep, yep. Let's go.
So, I mean, I think you guys can do this review even without us now after my presentation.
Totally.
So, good use of space for technical skills. I would say you don't need these lines that are kind of taking space. Um, a good size of the summary. I'm missing the title. Again, which title are you? Well, I guess the title is right here. I would nitpicking, but I would put the title on top uh, as part of the heading rather than as part of the summary, right? Because it's kind of like you have to jump back
Yeah,
and
yeah.
to read the title and the details. And then do you want to, can you scroll down?
Yeah, that's about it.
So So I would say not a wise use of space. So the title is taking a lot of space here. I would rethink of how the space is being used. But let's look at the accomplishments. So so I don't see kind of measurable, tangible results. I'm seeing what this person did. So they created the QA documentation, they automated the mobile application testing using some frameworks, but it doesn't give me an idea of scale. Did they automate 5 test cases or 100, or how did it impact the quality of the product? Did it actually help find bugs, or did it pass and never found any bugs, right? So definitely want to see measurable and some stories in here. So what did they change and how? Even if it's a junior employee, though it says it's senior, but accomplishments definitely, I would say in the middle, um, top 50% of the resumes have this, and you want to be in the top 10% of the resumes to actually get a chance at being called. Do you want to add anything,
Yeah,
Evgeny?
yeah. And you got a valid point. If it's just only one resume and you miss the second page, that's fine. But if you're just showing that you are senior QA with a 1 year of experience, it raises the questions like, where is the rest? Like, where the seniority coming from, right?
Yeah.
And it says like 8 years of experience, so maybe I'm just missing the, you
Yeah,
know.
maybe they just posted the first page. That's what I figured.
Oh yeah, yeah. Sorry, that's my
Oh, there you
bad.
go.
Yeah, here we
All
go.
right, all right, all
Here we
right.
go. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll now that we see 3 pages, right? Like definitely too long, and I think you could definitely squish it by using this space more wisely. Because when you have to scroll and and read, and it's taking time, and it's not that interesting, then it's not gonna stand out. You're not gonna be in the top 10% of the kind of resumes.
Yeah, definitely it's stretching. Like not if you uh, only issue here is the organizing. That's it. And obviously like emphasizing the strong things, impact that you Tatjana just mentioned. But other than that, like yeah,
All
just
right.
re
I
re
saw some
underline.
number on the second page, so I like that they try to set achieving 95% automation. That's great with a 100% pass rate. So this person had some ideas about the numbers. I like that, but it should be just be more consistent, and there should be more impact. Um, I do
Totally.
like the verbs. The verbs are integrated, led QA efforts, right? I love the
Yeah.
verbs. Just make it more measurable and impactful.
Yeah. All right, let's go with the next one. Just a second to open it this up.
Do we need to have a lot of bold like this CV? No, we don't need to have a lot of bold. Please use bold wisely. If
Very good.
you know, just if you want to draw attention to a certain section, then use it. But yes, we don't need a lot of bold.
I would, yeah, I see that a lot. I would really, it's distracting. You mean you need to understand that you really want using bold if you want to really emphasize on something and catching attention on specific. But if your whole resume is in bold, that's distracting, right? Okay, I'm sharing my screen. Second resume is funny though. Okay, we have Batman here. Batman goes to corporate world.
All right, so let's see. So objective, not very standard way to position this. So it might catch an attention because you're saying objective. That's usually not a standard way. I would say objective should go into the letter that goes with the resume. I would rather put a summary in here. You said this is what I want, but you didn't say who you are. You didn't make your sales speech of like, here's what I want, but here's what I bring to the table. So it feels a little bit one-sided. So now let's look at so I'm missing skills section. I don't know if this is a test manager. Maybe sometimes you can skip skills, but as a director, for me, I put areas of the expertise, even if I don't put the technical skills, I put like that, hey, I'm specializing in process improvements, agile methodologies, and so on. So don't skip the areas of expertise, even if you're a manager. Um, and then for the accomplishments, uh, again, I see the responsibilities that you oversaw the team, you coordinated the planning sessions. I do not see any impact. I see the work that has been done. The verbs they are not super strong, right? Like for a manager, I would expect a stronger impact. So collaborated, that's a weak verb. I want to see the impact of the collaboration rather than the fact that someone was collaborating. Developed and implemented is good, but then what is the impact of the development and implementation? I think that's all I gotta say about this.
No, totally agree. Like for managers, especially for managers, like impact is getting even more important. And again, like using the white spaces here, I would rethink you have white space. 1/3 of your resume is just basically blank, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's move
So while
forward.
you're opening another one, I'm going to answer a question. How important are personal projects and certifications? Um, I would say for a new person, for a junior person, it might be more important than for more experienced people. Um, but it also depends on the company. So like to me, I don't care about certifications. Please put them at the bottom just in case some companies care. Don't put them like all up front because 80% of the people wouldn't care. Oh, go ahead, Evgeny, you can share it. I'm just kind of trying to catch up on the questions here.
Yeah. Okay.
So blogs and public GitHub OSS contributions, those are great things to add to your resume. But again, put them at the bottom. Don't stick them up top. Put them at the bottom with all of their awards, accomplishments, everything. Yes, on the pie chart, accomplishments, yes, that's what's under experience. That's right. All right, let's jump into this one. So as you guys see, I don't see the title this person is applying for.
I
So
think it's right here, but there
again,
it is.
right, but
Yeah.
it's not clear to me what is they're trying to say. Is it a summary for an SDET or they're applying for SDET? I don't know what that means. Um, so concise summary, that's great. I'm not going to read into too much into summary, but please review it for being a good sales speech. The key qualifications, this is a waste of time, waste of space for me.
Yeah,
This
I
should
agree.
all be in your experience and accomplishments and in your education. Technical skills is good. Yeah, I think that's a good. I like that they're calling out some business process workflows, but I would say review that other list because this should also shine in the experience rather than in the skills section. So as far as the experience goes, I like some of the verbs that I hear reduced, streamlined, acted, created. So the verbs are good. good. I also see optimized, led. Those are great verbs. So as far as the measurable accomplishments, would like to see more kind of like impact, right? So you created and executed test cases, but what did you accomplish with that? Use Jira for bug tracking and project management. Please don't waste your space on that. This should be in your skills section. So use these to really shine the light on your accomplishments. Uh, what else I see here? So again, the verbs are good, but I would like to see more measurable impact. Anything else to add, Evgeny?
No, that's pretty much like agree with you. Structure-wise, I like it. Just quick qualifications is unnecessary for sure. The rest looks fine. Twitch with the action verbs, the impact. But yeah, I think I don't see like big red flags here. All right, let's move to the next one. We have 3 more minutes, Tatyana.
Yeah, let's do one more
Let's do one more, right? Okay.
and then we'll wrap it up. So
Okay.
we're,
Okay. Here we go. Okay.
all right. So again, we're missing the title that this person is applying for. I like the LinkedIn. Summary is good. Review it, make it a better sales pitch. Um, so these verbs are a little bit kind of all over the place, right? So refactored, while it's an action verb, like why are we refactoring? Like we're probably trying to achieve some bigger goals by refactoring. So mention that instead. um, Collected and organized. Again, this is kind of like in the middle. Okay, you collected, and what did you do with that, right? So I would say put the impact first and then say how you did it. So let's give this example. So where was collected, right? So they collected and organized user feedback, ensuring follow through by converting feedback into tickets, right? Okay, and then what? What happened to these tickets? So imagine these tickets actually got done, right? So you could say, I actually addressed user feedback and like improved customer experience by collecting and organizing user feedback, ensuring by converting it into tickets and executing on it, right? So put the impact first and then tell me how you did it. Because I'm not going to be reading the whole sentence to understand what was the impact. I want to see the impact. This is what I accomplished. And then here's how I accomplished it. Okay. So I'm seeing a lot of kind of like medium to good verbs, but not a lot of impact. I'm not seeing an impact in this resume. Anything else you want to add?
No, I mean, from structure wise, I like it. Title is missing as you just mentioned, but other than that, the only like big question would be raised. I would say the fundamentals here is that you're looking for which role, because you've been as a software engineer. Are you going back to testing, or like that would raise the question in hiring managers' mind, like what do you why are you going back if you decide to go software engineer, right? So that is like that could be actually a red flag.
Yes. And the skills section needs to go to the top
Yeah.
because that kind of speaks volumes about your experience. So putting it at the bottom, you're kind of missing out on standing out as far as your skills go.
Yeah. So with this resume, I kind of have feeling that this person is struggling to get the responses. For QAs and as that role, probably you will not get responses because you've been going to software engineer. And but again, like you need to really rethink your resume. For engineering roles, then you need to change the summary that you are moving to engineering roles, or you would probably, I mean, I would switch with the title. Then if you're looking for SDAT, you hiring managers and recruiters are looking for SDAT. Even your title is different. But again, it's not a confession. This is gonna prevent getting your resume get picked for actually for either one positions, because it's not really clear like where you're going. And again, it's make help hiring managers not to decide for you. You have to make clear statement. I want to be as that, or I want to be QA and I have this experience in QA, and everything else is unnecessary. Remove it, or you can always justify during the interview.
Yeah. Hey, Evgeny, we're 2 minutes over time, and I do have to run to my next meeting,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
yeah,
So I'm gonna just answer last kind of question
good.
really quick, and let's wrap it up. If you didn't get your resume reviewed, maybe you can still post it to the same Slack channel, and we can review it offline. Let's do that. And the question was, what if someone doesn't have measurable impacts or don't remember data to add? How to add the same? Well, the reality is if you don't remember your measurable impacts, you're not going to stand out. So if you don't have it, please start working on getting that data. So next time, in a year from now, you have the measurable impact. This is something that you need to start doing at your job today. You have to start thinking about what are my measurable results? Why am I doing what I'm doing today? Am I doing it just because my boss told me to, or am I actually trying to make an impact that I can put on my resume? If you don't have that, you're not going to be in the top 10% of the candidates. I'll tell you that. And if that's the reality, then you need to start working on that. Okay. All right, Evgeny, let's wrap it up. And if people are interested, we're happy maybe to do another session or review the resumes offline. I would like to help you guys. And please let us know how helpful this was and which parts were helpful so we can
Yep,
make it a better session next time as
yep.
well.
Tatyana, you can drop. Thank you very much for coming. I'll just explain how to get into Slack, and I have an idea what to
All
do.
right. Well, thank you, everyone. I hope this helps. And please reach out if you have more questions. You have my LinkedIn. Please keep an eye on our Innovate QA events, and we'll post it in our meetups in this event.
Yep,
And thank you so much for coming. Thanks a lot.
absolutely. Thank you, thank
All
you.
right.
Guys, if you not here, let's do this. Let's all of us let's do this. Post your resume here, and you already saw the presentation. We're gonna share the presentation with you. What you can do, give each other the feedback. We also, Tatyana and I will also give you a feedback offline, but you pretty much all already saw the main thing, right? Like the structure and the action verbs. So yeah, why don't we do this? We have plenty of resumes here. Why don't you first give each other feedback? And that would be actually more valuable getting feedback because it works both ways. Is it clear? Do you really understand what this person is doing? Do you really understand what this person is looking, what kind of position she or he is looking? All right. All right. Thank you very much, guys. And oh, hold on. Let me post the Slack channel one more time here. If you're not here yet, join this Slack channel, and I'll post it on the LinkedIn. Okay, guys. Thanks so much.